RC AeroBase, the Deadstick in wind. Two items from the BMFA's suites pre-flight mnemonic are wind and eventualities. The key eventuality is deadstick preparation. The model pilot using the mnemonic considers the level of wind and how that affects his deadstick planning. Given the brisk conditions, the model pilot will realise the need to stay upwind, knowing that if surprised by a deadstick while downwind, he will very likely not get back to the strip. He will also be considering his aeroplane's drag characteristics. For example, a World War triplane, as seen here, has 3 times the wing profile drag and vortex induced drag compared to a monoplane, typically making glide angles steep and penetration poor. In this case, the deadstick has occurred upwind at a height, allowing the pilot to come round and land into wind. The turn has to be made in good time if the pilot is to avoid getting too far downwind before making his glide approach. In this case, the pilot has ventured downwind when the deadstick event occurs. To stand any chance of getting back to the strip, he must manage elevator well, so as to achieve the best glide while at the same time avoiding the stall. Better to land in the rough than stall the aeroplane at low height. In this case, the deadstick has occurred just after takeoff and gives the pilot a tough decision. 1, continue straight and almost certainly damage the model, or 2, try an emergency turn and land on the field, away from the flight line for safety, but landing downwind and at speed. Done well, there's a chance that this will work. Again, the deadstick occurs just after takeoff, but this time allowing the pilot to turn into wind, safer and lower risk. This time the dead stick has occurred awkwardly. If the pilot is to avoid coming down blind in the next field, he must return crosswind, turning into wind over the strip, and do it safely. This time the dead stick has occurred at height while downwind. This is manageable given the height, and the pilot decides to come in on a steep glide to keep it simple. Bearing in mind the high drag of his aeroplane, as soon as he levels out over the strip, his ground speed will bleed off quickly. Less than perfect, but still down safely. From these examples of dead sticks in wind, it's easy to see how even experienced model pilots can have a bad day. The pilot needs to think of safety first and be willing to sacrifice his model if safety requires it. This means that dead stick avoidance is one of his primary concerns. Search Deadstick on RC AeroBase to see a full list of issues that can cause engines to stop in flight in order to minimize the risk of dead sticks.